Hey, my friends, I'm excited to be sharing this with you. Man, blast from the past. I'm so pumped we got this new remake of Dragon Quest III, or as I played it originally, Dragon Warrior. This was my first taste of the franchise, was Dragon Warrior on the Game Boy, and man, I loved it to death. I had the Nintendo Power poster on my wall. But yeah, so I thought it would be fun with that new game coming out here, the new remake. Do a bit of a different book read, review, walkthrough, and actually look at this Prima official strategy guide for Dragon Warrior 3 on the Game Boy Color. So cool. You can see on the back, and what's wonderful about this is we get all that fantastic artwork. If you know me, I enjoy comics. I enjoy art. I love Toriyama, and Dragon Ball stuff is just great. I'm a big nerd for all that, and just anime can be pretty good. I mean, manga and anime is just comic books from Japan, comics and cartoons from somewhere else, and I just like that sort of stuff. And man, this is so cool. I love this artwork, and this is what that Nintendo Power poster was just this same artwork here. Very cool. Although people have been making a big deal about all the censorship in this new game here, but there was censorship back then too. Because I remember the Nintendo Power poster censored the Bikini Warrior and gave her a bit of an underarm shirt and a actual bikini under the armor there. So I don't know why people. I know why people are upset because it's dumb. But to say that it's never happened before is inaccurate. I'm going to set this aside so I'm not bumping into it. But let's go through this book. We got our table of contents here. You know, we got our big world map, which is always appreciated. And each and every spot is numbered and named, so we can use that as a quick guide. Fantastic. You want to be able to know where you're going, and a map is invaluable. So just got all your stuff here at the front. This is by Elizabeth M. Holliger, so cool. That's fun. We get stuff with addresses, and who knows how accurate all that stuff is anymore. And you can tell this book is well loved because it's got them dog ears. Look at this binding. I tell you what. You can tell I use the hell out of this thing, both flipping through it for fun just to look at the art and actually using it as a strategy guide as a kid. You know, this is back before the internet was a big thing. Like, holy moly, I logged into my GameFAQs account the other day and it said it was like 24 years old, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I was using strategy guides and doing this before I had a GameFAQs account, I tell you that. Anyhow, it's just crazy, but got all your fun stuff here. We got an introduction telling you kind of the basic idea of the story here. This just tells you how to use the guide, what all the different symbols and things mean. This is telling you about what symbol they'll put for a job class. These are different icons, stuff, and you just get the fun artwork throughout. Here they have setting up, telling you about the new personality system that's introduced in this, and how we're going to be doing a fun personality quiz to see what your hero character is going to be like. And this was fun because this is back before we had internet quizzes and dumb things like that. So it's very much of that nature, but before that was really accessible. So that was a very fun thing that this game included, was just the getting to do a fun little personality quiz at the beginning. And depending on how you answer things too, you get to enact several different scenarios. Wonderful. I remember having so much fun and restarting the game a number of times just to try and play out all the different scenarios. And I always went into it blind first, but then after the fact, you know, you got this big guide here too, which will tell you how to answer proper to get to what scenario you want to go to. And then once you do that, it then tells you what personalities you can end up with depending on the scenario that you land in. So that's really cool. Adds a lot of complex depth just to starting the character out to find out what personality they're going to assign you, and the personality your character has affects their level up stats. So that's really cool. You know, if you get someone who's I don't know, like a daredevil, you know, they're not gonna have as high of wisdom, you know. So that's very fun, and this is just telling you more about what you're gonna want to plan out for doing, as far as like what kind of classes you have, what are ideal class setups for a beginner starting out, telling you that you can change your classes later so you're not locked in. And it introduces the idea of the sage, which was not in the original but was one of the new things for this Game Boy remake. So this gives us the breakdown of the different classes. Here we have the hero, and I like that. You know, you got your personality A and your personality B, or type, I should say. That's so funny. That's the big censorship I'm finding, because if you look at the sprites in the new game, you can't even tell there's no real censorship there on the sprite level. It's just that they did a little touch up to cover up some flesh in the artwork. Really dumb. That's lame. They get rid of the cheesecake, you know. Like, I say equal opportunity. Make everybody as sexy as they can be, you know what I'm saying? But it is so silly that they just get around the whole hubbub about gender identity and such by just saying type A and type B. But I like that you get both represented here, which is good. I remember when it was a big deal playing Pokemon, it's like all of a sudden, whoa, you can pick a chick too? But like in this here, everybody can be a male or a female. So that's pretty neat. You can do whatever you want. And the new game is really cool. I love that you can actually customize. Each different character has 4 different appearances per gender, so there's 8 appearances to choose from total for each class. Very fun. And you can change the color of the hair. And you know, talking all about this artwork, let me zoom in a little bit. We can appreciate that. I love the martial artist. Like, you can totally tell that's just it's Toriyama, you know. Like, look at that, that's Tien. Come on, you know, just get rid of the hair, put an extra eye. But still, all the same, I love this dude's artwork. Very cool. I love their helmets. But this is fantastic because it gives you an idea of what everybody can do. You get all your stats, your level up spells. Very handy, telling you the abilities you can get and your personalities that are advantageous for that type of class. However, I will say in this new remake, a new feature they've added that I adore is that they're giving a lot of these classes that don't learn spells extra abilities they can use. So that's really cool. At least I know we could do things in the past as far as like here and there, but just the extra stuff they've added in and the new class of the Monster Hunter, I'm really appreciating. And it's just cool having some of these other classes that usually wouldn't do anything else have an extra thing they can do in the battle besides it. I'm finding the dealer, the class I went with when starting up the game is I went with a Monster Wrangler because I had to try that out. But I also went with a thief and a dealer. And that's what I'm on right now. I just completed the pyramid. And what a wonderful dungeon that is. But Yeah, I'm finding the dealer a lot more interesting than he was previously. Like, a lot more useful, and I also ended up with a new personality on him. I think they added a few more personalities that I'm not familiar with. Because his was a paper tiger. But yeah, let's zoom in and look at that art, because we gotta appreciate that artwork, right? That's so cool. Very cool. And again, I love that it gives you all your spells and abilities. And, you know, it's nice that it tells you what it thinks is a good personality for the class, but I think it's more fun to just land with a personality that you think is fun, because that's the beauty and magic of this game for me, is how it's your own personal little adventure game where you can make any team you like and just imagine what it is. There's no real personality other than what you assign to the character, so you can project a lot of the interactions and story. It's a wonderful game to use your imagination with while you're playing. And every time I play it, I have new characters and I imagine a new scenario for how they're all interacting, largely based on the personality that they end up with when I first assign and recruit the character. So that's always fun. Although I will say, one time I did go back and recreate an old team I'd gone with just to kind of relive that same story. But man, so fun. And like, I love these details. Like, look at this just at the bottom of the page. Just some fun, goofy monster artwork. It's wonderful. Just picking up this book and reading through it is just as nostalgic and heartwarming as going through and playing the game. But I am loving this new game here. So fun. I have not actually popped on to check, but on each page it has the web address enix.com and primagames.com. I wonder if those still actually work or go anywhere, or I'm sure Enix just redirects to Square Enix, but I wonder if Prima Games even still around. So, the beginning of this book, you know, the real fun part was where it went over the new personality tests and what all the personalities were, how they operated, and talking about the classes. This is just a little bit boring stuff, talking about how the maps work, what's going on with the towns, telling you about the different types of stat conditions you can land in during battle, and introducing the medals there, which are handy. And this right here is pretty much just a basic bullet point list telling you what's going on in the game and get you to walk through it. So boom, 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 what are you doing? What's your goal right here and here? Then boom, boom, boom. This is like a checklist. Very handy. Great if you're starting out. And obviously, if you're wanting to, you actually could check the boxes like it is a checklist. I left it blank there. You'll have to excuse that. The cat's begging for food right now. I'm just gonna pause this real quick and take care of that so she don't keep doing that. Alright, anyhow, a lot of fun stuff going on in here. Just throwing you into the game. We just started out. So here we are. We're starting out in our main town. Mama's gonna have us go to the castle. It's giving you just the bare bones of the story. Have you played this before? Did you click on this video thinking this was an actual strategy guide video? I apologize. This is I'm flipping through the book and showing off all the artwork like I do with my comic books I review as I talk about my experience with it. but maybe you'll learn something about the game too. I guess I can give you tips or something, but this is more just a fun nostalgia video. We're looking at the artwork and remembering the game and talking about the new one here too. I'll tell you what, I'm having so much fun with it. I've dipped probably about 10-15 hours into it. Like I said, I just completed the castle. I've been taking my time and having fun, and I'll admit there's been points where I've just left the game on for the music, sort of like I'm doing right now as I flip through this book. But I gotta say, I love how all the little notation spots have the monster crab there. That was always a creature I really liked. And that's another thing too I haven't mentioned in here is each time we're seeing a dungeon, we get these fantastic dungeon maps, but it also tells us what monsters we're going to be encountering. So, like, there are a lot of updates with this new game. A lot of this is out of date, but at the same time, you can easily use this old walkthrough and it works just the same. You're just going to miss out on a few things, and they changed a few of the areas where the treasures are, or the map looks a little different because it's all in 3D. But it's still the same game and it still works the same way. And one of the best parts are all the different monsters, all the creatures we come across, because they all are detailed in this beautiful Toriyama artwork. And yeah, it's just such a delight. Like, let's look at this here. Look at this wonderful sketch of that town. Excuse me for bumping into the camera. So much fun. And of course we get the artwork of the characters throughout too. It's pretty much page filler. Doesn't really mean anything, not important, but it sure looks nice. Adds a little bit of color, makes it feel more full. Because, you know, we're getting pretty good detailed maps, especially with this graphical detail. I mean, it is Game Boy graphics. It's meant to be looking small. We're still seeing it a bit zoomed out, but it's bigger overall. You don't need it too large. And I like it, you know. It tells you everywhere you need to be. That's what you really need for a game like this. You don't need a step-by-step walkthrough. Just give me the maps of the dungeons and show me where all the treasure is, so I'm not running around in circles trying to find something that ain't there. I love this little guy. So if you're still with me in the video, give me a comment. Tell me, what's your starting party that you always go with? I told you what mine was, at least for the new game. In the new game, I had to go with the new Monster Wrangler. Because how could you not try out the new class when it's starting out? It's like in this old ones, you know, you want to try out the Thief and the Sage because you know it wasn't there originally. So it's like, all right, that's fun. Oh, speaking of which, here's my bookmark. Because like I said, I was at the pyramid, and you know what? I wanted to just double check the map. And this is funny too, because I was looking at this. I'm like, what's this bookmark that was in here? And it's just this folded up paper for a thing for the National Park Service's lava beds. And I looked on it here. It says it's dated 1995. So that's funny. Hella old National Parks paper from 1995. Talk about going back in time. But yeah, I've been using that as a bookmark in this thing for God knows how long. So now I would say spoilers, because I have just reached the point where I'm past where I am in my current playthrough of the game. But considering I've already read through this book and played through it countless times, I'm not too chapped about that. And I'm actually fairly close to getting to being able to change my classes, so that's exciting. Although I think I'm going to sit on that for a little while, because I want to keep the Monster Wrangler around, just because I want to make sure I'm able to wrangle all the monsters I come across. But also, it's a pretty good class. I'm liking how it's working so far, and it's pretty strong. So I'm just going to keep with it, just because I want to keep one in my team. But I do think I'm going to switch both my thief and my merchant into something else. I'm probably going to switch my thief into a sage, but my merchant, I'm hesitant on switching it to a cleric, which is what I was thinking about doing, because the fella, it's just tragic, but he's the slowest character ever, and having a really slow cleric is a pain. But I can always toss the meteor bracelet on him and double his speed. This is fun, and I'm looking forward to checking in the remake game here. I'm wondering if they edited that, because I recall them editing all the crosses into tridents in the new one as I was playing through. Although, now that I think about it, did they do that for the artwork in here? Yeah, see, this has the uncensored artwork where it's crosses. And so I believe it was like that in here too. So I'm wondering, because I know in the new one it's censored to tridents. Another useless censoring they're doing. I don't know. You can argue that it's inappropriate or it's appropriate, because it's not really tied to Christianity in any way. It's just sort of a churchy sort of thing they're doing. But it does seem silly to edit out the cross just for the sake of it. But as I was saying, I'm wondering if they edit this into a trident in the new one. We'll see. I'll pop back into the comments and comment on this video when I get to that point in the game and say either way. I doubt it. I doubt anyone's getting this far and chomping at the bits to find out my thoughts later, though. So that's more for me. But that's what all these videos are. I'm glad if you're coming along for the ride, though. I love it if you are, but I'm just having fun is what I'm doing. And what's more fun than looking at all this artwork here? Like, come on, look at this town. Trying not to bump the camera here, because I got a camera stand underneath the thing. But yeah, I love that artwork. That's such a fun time. I like how all the different areas are very much representative of real world stuff, Like it's fake, it's fantasy, but it's a little real. This guy's real cool looking. I love him. And this guy always makes me chuckle every time I see him pop up on my screen. It's something about the big smile and the way he's just kind of waving around. Oh, that poison needle. I tell you what, I have the worst luck with that thing. I never use it. But in theory, it's a great weapon. The ghost ship. There's always a ghost ship. I love this little ghost jelly looking guy too. These zombies always make me sad. It's like he's just having a bad day. So fun. And I love this too, because we get here to the end of the game, the big boss. And it's like, oh, you thought that was the end. Welcome to the next 50% of the game, you know? That's one thing I like that's fun, is like, I'm looking at her, the female merchant, and in the new game, I love how we have the different alternate versions. You can pick, like I was saying, you can pick 4 of each of the different genders, so there's a total of 8 different possibilities. You can go for a look of one of the different classes, and you can vary their hair. So, like, you don't need to have a pink-haired girl if you're not liking the neon type of hair. And the same thing, they have fellas without the mustache, so you don't need a big mustache. Although I will say they all have a goofy hat to some degree. But I was never a fan of the big pink ponytail the female merchant had. See, like the female hero, she looks just like the male hero, only just a little bit more feminine, a little bit skinnier, not quite having that bulk, but you know, you can tell a little bit more ladylike, but very much the same thing. Whereas, like, we flip back and you look at the female merchant, you know, she don't have a hat. Where's her hat? That's all I'm saying. She should get a hat too. Like, both of the priest class have hats. Love that metal slime. Or at least my XP bar does. This guy is so fun. The dragon turtle. I always get a chuckle looking at him. And these guys just always remind me of that Sinbad. I always think of Sinbad when I think of skeleton warriors. But I gotta say, this is a good looking team. I love the hero character. It's a great self-insert character. It's a great like generic jack of all trades good warrior character, but it does, part of me is a little bit sad that we can't get and make our own generic 4-party classes, you know. Like, I'd like to be able to choose 4 different people, all of them a different class, and not be locked into that one hero character. And that would be interesting too, because you could even impose your more imaginative stories not having a designated main character. You could choose any of them. But I do like this lineup. Like, that's pretty cool. Female thief, you got your female martial artist, an old wizard, and a jacked warrior. Like, that's pretty cool. And I love those helmets the warriors have. Very awesome with the wings. Very cool. Oh, man. I like his design. It's such a cool helmet. And I love that they just give you the big old question mark. They're like, nah, you don't need to see his stats. That's the big boss. Get a little bit of that. Nice artwork there, sort of filling it up. I feel like it's a little bit cheap though, that it's just kind of cropped off there. We don't have anything nice in the background, no fading or nothing. I feel like they could have chosen a larger, wider piece of artwork, or they could have done something to at least frame it a little bit. This feels like something I would have made on PowerPoint. I'm dating myself just talking about PowerPoint, though, I imagine. That's one thing I will say, seeing this picture of the male thief there, really bummed me out. all of the thieves, at least the male thief, had the same colored bag. Like it was this all basically the same outfit. And I was like, man, do we gotta have a blue bag? Especially because like the cleric class, they all had different hats and such. Very cool. Same thing with the wizards. I like the wizards because for the males you could have a hood, you could have a hat, you could have no hood, you could have long hair. It was a pretty wide variety of different things to choose from. But I mean, so we just completed the game, you know, we passed up the big boss. That was all kind of fun. Talking a little bit about extra things you can do and stuff on the back end. And here we're doing the Pachisi tracks, which unfortunately are not in the new game. We have these monster battles we can have now. It's pretty much just like, you know, a big monster coliseum fight. It's cool, but I think I would have rathered the fun board game. So that's cool that it includes that stuff here. And it's nice that we get all these detailed bits here in the back that you can just flip to, and telling you all about the different magic spells and what they do, how they work, how they affect different things. And I like that it actually tells you at what point you level up too. Like for these healing spells, for heal, it's like, all right, the hero learns it at level 4, the cleric learns it at level 1, and the sage learns it at level 1. Fantastic. So you get that for all the stuff, like revive. Okay. Vivify, the hero learns at 35, cleric at 24, and the sage at 24. That's good. But it looks like only the cleric and the sage learn revive. So hero misses out. Very cool. I love all those little extra things, and like this is great here. Tiptoe. How can you not like tiptoe? Prevent monsters from hearing you. You're skipping out on getting random battles by casting a spell. Like, if that is not a reason to use a thief, what is? So, very cool. I love the details. Of course, this is out of date with the new game. They've added new spells and abilities for all the different classes and such. Like even the warriors, they're totally learning magic now as they level up. And same thing's going for the Monster Wrangler. Even though the Monster Wrangler doesn't learn magic, it uses magic points for its abilities. So, you know, there's... This is an old guide for an old game. It is out of date with the new one, but it still has enough stuff in it that makes it relevant and usable for the new game. So that's very cool. And if you want to like hit up some thrift stores or pawn shops or wherever you find old books and such, like see if they have a game section and maybe this is there. It's worth picking up. If nothing else, just flipping through this artwork, we're getting to look at all the different monsters in the game here. That's wonderful. Shows their stats, tells you a little tiny bit about it. This guy is so fun. Little bird head on legs. Always crack me up. Same thing, I always laugh when I see him. I just can't not laugh. It's like, hey! These guys always creep me out, the little ghostly specter fellas. It's a simple, clean design. It just works really well. Yeah, such good artwork. And great game mechanics. That's why we play the game. I keep going back to this game over and over through many different iterations. The Game Boy, the remake, re-release, this new remake here. You know, they're all pretty fun. But for how great the mechanics are, it's that charming artwork that really draws it in. That's what really makes it stand out for me, because you could argue that the class system in Final Fantasy V is a bit more robust as far as just gameplay mechanic wise. But I find with the fun of the personality system in this game, the fun with the unique character creation as far as being able to formulate different classes by switching classes and retaining things, but also having the difficulty of reverting back to level 1, whereas you don't in Final Fantasy. They have their pushes and their pulls, but the artwork and the charm of the story is what really tips this over for me into being the best. And I love the fact that there is no real strong story. I know that's a negative for a lot of people. They want that in-depth story with deep, rich characters, and I love that too. That has its place. But a game like this that's completely devoid of that has its place as well. I love all these different armors and things. And this is wonderful because looking at it here, we get to see them in more detail than we do in the game themselves. And they all just look really good. Like, I love that fighting suit there. All these are fun. This dragon mail and the magic armor looks so cool. Excuse me. But yeah, just the simple fact that there is so little actual character story in the game makes it more endearing to me. I really appreciate that about the game. You're able to actually project and make the story your own every single time. These shields are so cool. The hero shield obviously is the best one. But, man, that heal shield is righteous. And this is fun over here. I like this light armor, obviously. The hero's armor is always the best. But that devil armor is cool, too. And here we get our Type A and Type B armors. Very funny. And you just gotta laugh at the practicality of that. You got your kilt and your boxers for the fellas. And I'll say this, that's pretty lame. It's funny too, because for all the arguments for inclusion and things, these things are still only wearable by the female characters. They're just not called female. They're called Type B. But if you really want to be equal opportunity, you would let my male thief wear the magic bikini. I'm just saying. I love that magic apron though. It's so funny. And like the sacred bikini. That's hilarious. With the little wings on her boobs. So much fun. And this is cute too with the fur hood there. I like that no mask. And bunny hat. And, I got to point out, too, because, I've talked about the personalities and such. The gold necklace in here, it changes your personality. And in the new one, they call it Charmer. But in this one, they call it Lewd, the old one here. So that's funny. So some of the personalities have had name changes. Others, like I said, I encountered one called Paper Tiger, which isn't one of the old classes, and I don't see what it could be instead of what it is. So, very fun. And right here you can see I need to get out my book binding glue that I always have handy, because this thing is well loved, and it's constantly feeling and looking like it. Let me tell you, I got to be careful with how I pick it up at points, because I don't want the pages like ripping or coming apart. But like I said, I've been using this thing since I was a little kid, just flipping through it. I love this book to death. And I just figure, what a better time to go through it and do a fun like walkthrough video than right now when the new game comes out. But I mean, we're pretty much done here. Here's the last page. We just were going through all the items in the back. And here we got an advertisement for more games. We got Dragon Warrior 7 on the PlayStation. We got Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 for Game Boy Color, along with this third one, which is what this strategy guide is for. There's also these Dragon Warrior Monster games. I still have my copy of the first Dragon Warrior Monster for the Game Boy there. So that's fun. But I love the artwork here. This is such a creepy guy. But you can tell, like, this is where it's kind of stuck to this page over here, and you can tell there's a little bit of like a spillage going on with the moisture. And this guy's banged up. It's dog-eared, it's bent, it's roughed up. The spine is all the hell, but I love it because it's mine and I've had it forever. And hell, that's just how you know I actually appreciate it and go through the thing. Unlike my Lunar one, where that one I was just meticulous with, just because I was like, it's so beautiful, I gotta treat it like it's a sacred object. This one, I just threw in my backpack, I carried with me everywhere. I just loved it so much. It just fell apart because I love it. But that's okay. I had so much fun going through this. I'm having so much fun with this new game here. This is probably the most fun I've had with a video game in just ages. It's so great. Although I know we have that new Lunar collection coming out later in the year, and that is going to be phenomenal because that is the exact opposite of this story. That one is character driven and just emotional and beautiful, and just it touches a part of your soul. This game doesn't have that. It is just pure fun. It is fun, and you get to make up your own story as you play it, and the guidelines are just there for you to work in. But man, such a good time going through this. Love all this artwork. If they made a new strategy guide for the game, would I buy it? Oh, hell yes. I would love to see even more artwork, but I know that Toriyama's gone now, and that's heartbreaking. So, like, did he even contribute to the new artwork? This, obviously not this cover here. I don't know if we have any Toriyama artwork of the Monster Wranglers or anything, or if he was even involved in that. I know he just did the character designs. He didn't like make all the characters and things, but still, his look is so tied to it in my mind. But anyhow, thank you for joining me. I hope you had fun with this. Sorry if you clicked on this video for game strategy guide tips, but you're already long gone. But if you like more of this type of thing, of just flipping through a book and talking about it and having a good time, that's what I do. So I'll talk to you later.